Hello and welcome back. Today, we are checking into the performance of a giant in the Indian hospitality space, the Indian Hotels Company Limited, or IHCL.
That's right. Part of the Tata Group, IHCL is a name synonymous with luxury and hospitality in India and beyond. They operate iconic brands like Taj, Selecutions, Vivanta, Ginger, and newer ones like Amma Stays and Trails and Tree of Life. It's a massive portfolio.
Absolutely. And they've just released their financial results for the fourth quarter and the full financial year ended March 31st, 2025. The board approved these results on May 5th, 2025. We've got both the standalone and the consolidated figures here, so plenty to unpack.
Indeed. These are the audited results for the full year, and the quarterly figures give us a good look at the most recent performance trends.
Perfect. Let's dive right in, starting with the consolidated picture for the fourth quarter, Q4 FY25. How did their revenue shape up compared to last year and the previous quarter?
Okay, looking at the consolidated results for Q4, revenue from operations came in at 2,425.14 crore rupees. Comparing that year over year, it's a strong jump from the 1,905.34 crore rupees they reported in Q4 of the previous year.
That's a solid year-over-year increase. What about sequentially, compared to Q3?
Quarter over quarter, there's actually a slight dip. Revenue was 2,533.05 crore rupees in Q3 FY25, so Q4 saw a decrease from that preceding quarter.
Interesting. Down sequentially, but up strongly year-over-year. How about profitability? The press release mentions EBITDA. What does that tell us for Q4 consolidated?
Yes, the press release highlights a consolidated EBITDA for Q4 of 918 crore rupees. That's a 30% increase year over year. The EBITDA margin for the quarter stood at 36.9%, which is also an improvement of 0.8 percentage points year over year. Sequentially, though similar to revenue, the EBITDA would likely be down from Q3 following the revenue trend.
Got it. And profit before tax PBT for consolidated Q4?
Consolidated PBT for Q4 FY25 was 719.96 crore rupees. Year over year, that's a significant rise from 534.69 crore rupees in Q4 FY24. Quarter over quarter, however, it's lower than the 834.03 crore rupees reported in Q3 FY25.
Okay, same pattern. Strong year over year, softer quarter over quarter. What about the bottom line, profit after tax PAT, attributable to the owners for consolidated Q4?
The consolidated PAT attributable to owners for Q4 was 522.30 crore rupees. Again, a healthy increase year over year from 417.76 crore rupees. But sequentially, it's down from 582.32 crore rupees in Q3.
And the consolidated earnings per share EPS for Q4?
Consolidated basic EPS for Q4 FY25 stands at 3.67 rupees. That's up year over year from 2.93 rupees, but down quarter over quarter from 4.09 rupees.
Right? Now let's look at the full year consolidated picture for FY25. How did the annual numbers stack up year over year?
For the full financial year FY25, consolidated revenue from operations hit 8,565 crore rupees. That's a very strong 23% growth year over year compared to 6,951.67 crore rupees in FY24.
Impressive annual growth. What about the full year consolidated EBITDA?
The full year consolidated EBITDA, as per the press release, reached 3,000 crore rupees, marking a 28% increase year over year. The full year EBITDA margin improved nicely to 35.0%, up 1.4 percentage points from the previous year.
Excellent. And the full year consolidated PBT and PAT?
Full year consolidated PBT was 2,578.05 crore rupees, a substantial jump from 1,665.53 crore rupees in FY24. The consolidated PAT attributable to owners for the full year came in at 1,907.59 crore rupees, significantly up from 1,259.07 crore rupees the previous year.
And the full year consolidated EPS?
The full year consolidated EPS for FY25 was 13.40 rupees, a strong increase from 8.86 rupees in FY24.
That paints a very positive picture on the consolidated annual front. Did other income play a significant role in these consolidated numbers, both quarterly and annually?
Yes, other income was notable. For Q4 consolidated, it was 61.64 crore rupees, up year over year from 46.12 crore rupees and also up quarter over quarter from 58.68 crore rupees. For the full year FY25 consolidated, other income was 230.46 crore rupees, higher than the 182.92 crore rupees in the previous year. So it certainly contributed positively.
Okay, now let's switch gears to the standalone results. How did IHCL perform on its own in Q4 FY25, looking at revenue, PBT and PAT year over year and quarter over quarter?
Right, the standalone results give us a peek into how the main parent company did. For Q4 of FY25, just looking at the standalone numbers, revenue was about 1476 crore. That's a decent jump from the 1342 crore last year, but basically flat compared to the 1474 crore in Q3. Profit before tax was 628 crore, which is up from 502 crore last year, but a little bit down from 633 crore in Q3. And the profit after tax landed at 481 crore, again up strongly from 369 crore last year, but slightly lower than the 469 crore they made in Q3.
And the standalone EPS for Q4, YoY and QoQ?
Standalone basic EPS for Q4 was 3.38 rupees. That's up year over year from 2.59 rupees, but slightly down quarter over quarter from 3.30 rupees.
And the full year standalone picture for FY25? Revenue, PBT, PAT and EPS compared to last year?
Okay, looking at the main company's performance for the full year FY25, standalone revenue was about 5,145 crore rupees, which is a solid 12% higher than the 4,590 crore they did last year. The profit before tax jumped up significantly too, hitting 1,887 crore compared to 1,483 crore last year. And the profit after tax landed at 1,413 crore, a nice 29% increase from the 1,095 crore in FY24. That works out to earnings per share of 993 paise for the year, up from 770 paise last year.
Okay, good growth on the standalone front as well, both quarterly YoY and annually. What about other income on the standalone side?
Standalone other income for Q4 was 54.80 crore rupees, up both year over year from 41.51 crore rupees and quarter over quarter from 43.34 crore rupees. For the full year standalone, it was 228.55 crore rupees, higher than 184.51 crore rupees last year. So a consistent positive contribution here too.
Let's talk margins. We saw the consolidated EBITDA margins improved. How does the profitability look when comparing consolidated and standalone, maybe using net profit margins?
Calculating net profit margins for the full year, consolidated PAT attributable 1,907.59 crore rupees over consolidated revenue 8,565 crore rupees gives roughly 22.3%. For standalone PAT 1,413.23 crore rupees over revenue 5,145.09 crore rupees gives a higher margin of about 27.5%. The difference is expected due to the consolidation of various subsidiaries, some potentially operating at different margin levels, and consolidation adjustments. However, the press release highlights a consolidated hotel segment EBITDA margin of 38.5% in Q4, indicating strong core hotel profitability.
Were there any significant exceptional items reported in either the standalone or consolidated results this year?
Yes, there were. On the standalone side for FY25, there was an exceptional loss of 16.24 crore rupees noted as provision for impairment of investment in a subsidiary. For Q4 standalone, this was 12.87 crore rupees. On the consolidated side for FY25, there's a significant positive exceptional item of 304.80 crore rupees. The notes explain this is primarily due to a gain of 307.36 crore rupees recognized on fair valuing IHCL's existing equity interest in Taj SAT's Air Catering when it became a subsidiary from a joint venture in July 2024. There was also a smaller exceptional expense of 2.56 crore rupees in Q4 from a project write-off in a subsidiary.
The Taj SAT's transition that gain significantly boosted the consolidated PBT and PAT for the year. Clarification. Now, any key insights from the balance sheet, Comparing standalone and consolidated as of March 31st, 2025.
On the consolidated balance sheet, total equity attributable to owners stands at 11,160.71 crore rupees, up from 9,456.65 crore rupees last year. Non-controlling interests have also grown substantially to 1,254.90 crore rupees, likely reflecting the consolidation of Taj SATs and the acquisition of RHPL, Tree of Life. Goodwill has increased to 710.75 crore rupees from 662.32 crore rupees, also linked to these acquisitions. Property, plant and equipment including capital WIP has also grown. On the standalone side, the major asset remains investments, largely in subsidiaries, at 6,392.83 crore rupees. Total standalone equity is 11,255.92 crore rupees. Crucially, management commentary highlights a strong balance sheet with nil net debt on a consolidated basis and a strong gross cash position of 3,073 crore rupees.
Nil net debt is definitely a positive sign. What about cash flows? Any highlights from the consolidated statement? And what's the news on dividends?
The consolidated cash flow statement for FY25 shows positive cash flow from operations at 2,194.37 crore rupees, slightly down from the previous year due to working capital changes but still healthy. Cash used in investing activities was significant at 1,892.48 crore rupees, driven by purchase of capital assets, CapEx, and payments for current investments, partially offset by sales of current investments. Cash used in financing activities was 547.34 crore rupees, mainly due to dividend payments and lease liability payments. Regarding dividends, the board has recommended a higher dividend of 2.25 rupees per equity share of 1 rupee face value. That's 225%, up from 175%, 1.75 rupees per share last year. This is subject to shareholder approval.
A dividend hike is always welcome news for shareholders. Now, let's delve into the segment performance. The consolidated results show two segments now, hotel services and the new air and institutional catering. How did they perform?
Right. So since Taj SATs is now a subsidiary, IHCL has started reporting air and institutional catering as its own segment. Just remember the numbers for this new segment only count from late July 2024, so you can't really compare them directly to last year yet. Anyway, for Q4 FY25, hotel services brought in about 2,148 crore rupees in revenue and made 666 crore in profit before all the extra stuff like interest and tax. The new air catering segment added 279 crore in revenue and 57 crore in profit for that quarter. Looking at the whole year FY25, keeping in mind air catering was only part of the year, hotel services revenue was 7,623 crore with a profit of 2,118 crore. Air catering brought in 716 crore in revenue and 155 crore in profit for its partial year. So yeah, hotel services is still definitely the main engine for both sales and profit. The air catering bit adds something new and we'll get a better sense of its full year contribution next year. Most of the company's assets are tied up in hotel services too. Over 16,000 crore rupees compared to about 1,400 crore for air catering.
Good breakdown. So overall performance analysis, strong growth driven by hotels, boosted by consolidation gains. What else stands out?
The performance reflects strong demand in the domestic market as highlighted by management. They mentioned a 12% consolidated RevPAR growth for domestic same-store hotels. International portfolio occupancy also improved. The new businesses vertical, Ginger, Qmin, Amar, Tree of Life, showed 41% enterprise revenue growth. Management attributes the success to their One 2025 feet strategy and now looks towards Accelerate 2030, focusing on customer centricity and operational excellence. They also set a benchmark with 74 signings and 26 openings in the fiscal, mostly capital light.
You mentioned the Taj SATs consolidation and the Tree of Life RHPL acquisition. Any other significant notes or events?
Yes, the RHPL acquisition was completed on January 13, 2025, adding 16 boutique properties under the Tree of Life brand, with IHCL taking a 55% stake. Management commentary also pointed towards plans to invest over 1,200 crore rupees in FY26 towards asset management, upgrades, and greenfield projects, focusing on the Taj brand and digital capabilities. They anticipate continued double-digit revenue growth driven by same-store performance, new businesses, and 30 new hotel openings planned for FY26.
Okay, this is critical. The auditor's reports. We have reports for both standalone and consolidated financials from BSR and Company, LLP. What did the auditors say? Any qualifications or concerns?
This is a very positive point for IHCL. Both the independent auditors' report on the standalone financial results and the report on the consolidated financial results issued by BSR and Company, LLP, state that they have issued an unmodified opinion.
Unmodified opinion. Can you clarify what that means for listeners?
An unmodified opinion is essentially a clean chit from the auditors. It means that, in the auditor's view, the financial statements give a true and fair view of the company's financial position and performance, comply with the relevant accounting standards, Ind AS in this case, and are free from material misstatement. There were no qualifications, adverse opinions, or disclaimers of opinion. This provides significant assurance about the reliability of the financial numbers presented for both the standalone and consolidated entities.
That's excellent news and contrasts sharply with situations where auditors raise red flags. So, a clean audit opinion on both sets of accounts?
Exactly. They do include the standard other matter paragraph, stating that the Q4 figures are derived as a balancing figure between the audited full year figures and the published 9-month figures, which is standard practice. But the key takeaway is the unmodified opinion.
Great. So, considering the strong performance, the strategic moves, management outlook, and importantly, the clean auditor reports, what's the overall outlook and potential risks?
Disclaimer: as always, please remember this discussion is for informational purposes only. We advise investors to consult certified financial advisors before making any investment decisions. The outlook for IHCL appears quite positive based on these results. They've demonstrated strong growth, improved margins, successfully integrated Taj Assets as a subsidiary, made a strategic acquisition with Tree of Life, and maintained a healthy balance sheet with nil net debt. Management's commentary is bullish, backed by expansion plans and a strong sector outlook with demand outpacing supply and a recovery in foreign tourist arrivals. The clean audit reports add a layer of confidence. Potential risks would include macroeconomic downturns affecting travel and tourism, increased competition, successful integration of new properties and businesses, and execution risks related to their planned investments and openings.
Makes sense. So, to wrap it up,
IHCL has delivered a strong performance in FY25, marking 12 consecutive quarters of record performance, according to them. Both standalone and consolidated figures show significant year-over-year growth in revenue and profits. The consolidation of Taj Assets significantly impacted the consolidated bottom line positively via the exceptional gain. Strategic acquisitions like Tree of Life are expanding their portfolio. Importantly, the auditors have given clean, unmodified opinions on both standalone and consolidated financials, which is a major positive. With a strong balance sheet, planned investments, and a positive industry outlook, IHCL seems well positioned, reflected also in the proposed dividend increase for shareholders.
a comprehensive look at IHCL's strong showing. Thanks for breaking it all down for us.
My pleasure.
That's all the time we have for today. Don't forget to follow us wherever you get your podcasts.